I've been doing a little bit of progress as far as getting this prepped and ready. But one of the things that I wanted to do is I wanted to get everything out that I bought when I bought this rack and pinion system and talk about it a little bit. Again, this is for the comprehensive version of my video, but basically we're going to talk about the whole package that you're getting, at least with the 1971 through 73 Mustang. Okay, and what we're going to talk about right now is in regards to mounting the rack and pinion system itself. So obviously you have the rack and pinion here. Okay, then this is all the hardware that you're going to get when you buy this kit. Okay, and here's the installation guide that I was telling you about, and you just, you know, turn the page to the parts list. Alright, so that's nice. But then instructions, basically a detailed video is available online, and what that's going to do is pretty much it's going to take you to their website, and they are YouTube videos, and the one is for 1970 and earlier Mustangs, which I believe CJ Pony Parts did the installation, and then the 71 to 73 Mustang, which you will go to Auto Edits, and Jason over there, he's the one that did the video for that. Now, again, nothing against Jason, but a detailed video is not what you're going to get, okay? Again, I have a lot of years of fabrication experience, metal working experience, so I basically went over there and just freeze framed his video a lot just to check out how he did it. But I can just tell you that somebody who doesn't do this every day is going to have, I believe, difficulty. I mean, they just, because there's no measurements. There's no, like, you need to be 3 inches from here, and, you know, you need to cut this exact location here, so on and so forth. None of that's in there. So, and he moves along really quick, and he's, you know, spanning the camera back and forth. And again, nothing against Jason, absolutely, he did a brilliant job. It's just that I don't believe you know, us normal folk is gonna be able to keep up with a guy like that. I think he's an engineer, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know what his profession is, but he's really good at what he does, and he has a great video. And I was able to take 2 and 2 together, and I just want to make this video because I want to review, number one, and number two, I want everybody or anybody to be able to understand what to do. The only thing, again, that I need to stress is I am doing differently than most everybody else, probably. Jason, for example, he actually left the cross member in. I'm removing this cross member, and I'm going to make my own boltable unit. So, with that being said, you know, that's really the only difference here, okay? Alright, so we got the rack and pinion right here, and then these right here are what are going to be called the eccentric mounting brackets, so to speak, okay? So on the Mustang here, this mounting location right here where your lower control arm goes, okay? And you can see there's a slot there to adjust your camber. So this is where this goes. Right there. So it bolts in there just like that. I hope this, there you go. I hope the camera's, I don't know why, but the lighting right here is terrible. But at any rate, you can obviously see in the video screen here, it looks pretty good. So it would be on this side over here where this thing bolts up and holds the rack and pinion, okay? So you have 2 of these. You got one there, and you got one down here, okay? Same thing right there. That's where these go. Alright. Then you have the rack mounting brackets that this one here happens to be already bolted to the rack itself, okay? It's like an end cap on this thing already, alright? So this one here can't move anywhere. It's solid. It's your locator, so to speak, okay? And so this is the other side, which basically is going to go over here like so, Alright, and that one here is the passenger side one, which is going to bolt right here. Alright, and then the other one's going to bolt over on this side. Now it's not going to be right here, and because of that, they give you some blind nut brackets. Okay, so you've got two blind nut brackets. One's for the driver's side. Okay, this longer one here, this longer one kind of fits over here like so. Okay, so you're gonna want to actually. I saw Jason. What he did is he actually notched out a little spot here where this nut can go. And at this moment, I do not know how far down this thing actually mounts. I don't know if it was like out here, or if it was down here. I mean, I don't know right now, and I'm gonna figure that out in this video, or somehow I'll figure it out. But nonetheless, I don't know exactly where it goes. But this is your driver's side blind nut bracket. Okay. Then you have the passenger side blind nut bracket. Okay. Now, that one there is a little bit easier to figure out, the driver's side, as far as where it goes. You just know that the nut goes to the inside of the frame rail and towards the back of the car. Notice how it's kind of offset there? Yeah. So that nut goes to the back of the car and to the inside of the frame rail. Now with the passenger side, you'll notice it too is also, well, it's centered one way, and then it's offset the other way. And according to the video of Jason, I saw him put this in to where the offset is to the outside of the frame rail. So basically, it's centered, front and back, but then you have to make a hole right here, and then the offset, off to one side of the plate goes toward the outside of the frame rail. Okay. Now I actually did see that thing was more centered inside as far as this outer plate diameter. I saw that in the video it was actually pretty centered between here, but again, I'll confirm that here in a little bit. All right. So you got that blind nut brackets for the passenger and driver side, and then you've got this channel right here. Okay, well, this channel, basically what it does is, you can see you've got plumbing right here, and the hoses come out here, and they're going to come up against that frame bracket there for the lower control arm, and this is designed to be right here somehow, to where the hoses can go right up into that channel. But I guess this is the best way to explain it. So it's supposed to be going right in here. Okay. So you'll notice that it's got an angled cut there, and see how it matches up right there with that. Again, the video looks like it really sucks here as far as lighting. I don't know what's going on. Based on my camera screen, maybe I'll come over here and see if it makes a difference. It just looks really dark. I don't think this is working very well. Sorry about that, I apologize, but it just doesn't look like. I'm looking at the camera view here as I'm doing this, and it's just so dark. It's like black. I don't even know if this is working or not, but right here, boom, now I can see everything. But you can see that there is an angle right here, right there, and then that angle right there, now I can see the shadows are actually at least matching up. And this is how it matches up. Now, of course, you can see that it's really long, and I'm pretty sure you have to cut this to length, but this is what they give you, and it's supposed to go right inside there somewhat. I hope this is getting it, but nonetheless, that's how that's supposed to work, and it allows basically the hoses and all of that to, direct its way through this channel, rather than basically when you bolt that up, the hoses and everything doesn't come in here and bang up against this wall. So we have to measure that after we know we get the rack and pinion located. Okay, so that's the next question. How do we know that we've got the rack and pinion located? How do we know that it's exactly centered or front and back or whatever? How do we know that it's actually in there properly? Well, to answer your question, we know that the rack and pinion will be centered front to back. Okay, we know it's going to be set in here perfectly once we take the eccentric brackets, bolt it onto the rack and pinion, then we take those eccentric brackets and we bolt it here to the eccentric holes. Okay, so that's how we know for a fact it's going to be good from front to back. Now, how do we know that it's good side to side? Well, there is some adjustment there, and you can mess that up. Okay, so how do we not mess that up? Well, for the driver's side eccentric mounting location, this one right here. Okay, basically what you have, I apologize for all the movement, but this is, I think, going to make the video at least more understandable. So this will go in here, I believe. I think it goes in here like this. Okay, something like this. But anyway, you get the idea. Well, the only mounting location you have for the driver's side eccentric bracket is right here, right up against this pinion area and between this rubber boot. Okay, this is it. This is all you got. That's all the adjustment that you have. But that is something that, again, you can kind of sort of get yourself into a bad spot, because when you go to take that driver's plate, where'd I put that? Right here. Remember, this is the driver's side. We're gonna weld it in here like this, okay? And then that is going to be basically right here. You're going to take this and it's going to be right there, and then the bolt will go right through this bracket into this blind nut. Okay, so if we weld this plate here in the wrong position, okay, then you won't be able to possibly get this to fit right here. Okay, so it's really important that when you go to spot this thing right here, you need to have this eccentric bracket basically on the rack and pinion as it's supposed to be with the clamp system, and then you need to put the eccentric bolt through, and you need to try to get this about as center as possible. Okay, that way you have some movement, because when you adjust your camber on the lower control arm, this bracket will have to move with that. Okay, so it's going to have to move left or right a little bit just to make sure that, you know, it can allow the lower control arm to adjust. And of course, that's the beauty of this ring system here. Is you loosen that up, you move your bolt on your eccentric wherever you need it to adjust your camber properly, and then actually take and retighten this back up so that it holds your rack really nice and snug. Okay, so that's basically how you have to do it in explanation. So again, I apologize for the long drawn out talking, but nonetheless, I just want to make sure that I explain everything as best I can. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start, again, as I said before, I'm going to start grinding away a lot of this. I've already got a few things broke off here, right there, but I'm going to start grinding away at some of this stuff, cleaning it up, making it look good, and then it's time to actually take this rack and pinion, put all those brackets on there, get it over here, bolt it up to the eccentric area, get it all centered, and we're going to try to locate that driver's plate and that passenger's plate. And then once we do that, we'll actually weld those brackets in. And then once I know I've got the actual rack and pinion centered and located and perfect as far as I'm concerned, then that's when I'm going to try to come up with the idea of how I'm going to make this boltable cross member, and, you know, how maybe I'm going to, you know, cut this stuff up, you know, strengthen it, whatever I feel like I need to do, and then install those aftermarket motor mounts that I plan to put in here. But again, it has nothing to do with the rack and pinion, I suppose. But just wanted to show you again in further detail what you're going to have to expect when you're doing this, okay? Jason at Auto Edit, once again, you've done a great job. I'm following along with you, and I'm just trying to make this a little bit easier for everybody. That's really my only disappointment so far, is that for about a $3 rack and pinion system, you get absolutely no paper instructions whatsoever. I mean, no measurements, no visual diagrams of what, you know, should be done, etc. And I haven't really even watched the CJ Pony Parts video for the 70 and older Mustangs, so I have no idea if they did what I'm kind of doing. I'm pretty sure they probably did a better job. They have, you know, actual people who do video editing and all that other stuff, and I just do my own, and I don't even really know what the heck I'm doing, but I put it out there anyway. So, alright guys, so moving on to the next step.